A couple days ago, GameStop reported a third quarter loss of $488.6 million, and they're scratching their head wondering, is it because of digital sales? GameStop, I got news for you. It's a lot more than that. Hey guys, Vampire20 back again. And yes, GameStop did release a report a few days ago that they lost $488.6 million for their third quarter. A lot of people are surprised by this and shocked. I'm not. I mean, it's been public knowledge for a while that GameStop hasn't been doing too well. They've been trying to kind of sell the company and invest to get more money to go back into it and stuff like that. So I don't know how this is a big shock for anyone. As you guys all know, it's a digital era. A lot of people are downloading games nowadays. They're not really going to the store to get their games. And there's a big reason for that, and that's what I want to talk about. But before we get into that, I want to actually read this article so we can actually dig a little deeper and give you guys my thoughts. Because as you guys know, I'm not a huge fan of GameStop. A lot of people have been, sending me messages saying, hey, how do I feel about this? I bet you're happy, blah, blah, blah. A lot of people think I'm like ecstatic because GameStop could possibly be going out of business in the near future. And that's definitely not the case. I genuinely feel bad for the employees there because they're just doing what they're told. Yes, I read all the comments on my GameStop videos. A lot of managers actually contact me as well. And they tell me, hey, they're just doing their job. That comes from a corporate level. When they're being pushy with pre-orders and stuff like that, that's just, they're told to do that. I understand it. So I'm not trying to, this is not me coming down on the employees. This is me coming down on the actual business as a whole. The employees are just doing their job, and I understand that. But I don't have to put up with it. I refuse to go into GameStop as much as possible. Granted, there's times where I have to because sometimes they're the only people that actually have it. Sometimes I go to Walmart, they don't have it, but then I look online and GameStop has it. And if I want it now, I try to go in there and get in and get out, and you guys know that's definitely doesn't really happen. But let's go ahead and read this report, and it says, GameStop has released its third quarter physical report, which ended on November 3rd, showing an overall net income loss of $488.6 million. The report included sales of Spring Mobile, one of GameStop's Corp's owned companies, which brought in approximately $700 million. Now, as you can see, they sold that company and they still had a loss, so that's absolutely insane, guys. That's just crazy. It says GameStop previously said they would pay off debts, fund share repurchases, reinvest in core video game and collectibles business to drive growth, or some combination of these options with the funds from Spring Mobile. And as you guys know, if you go into GameStop, you see pop figures, you see stuffed animals, you see collectibles, you see shirts. They have more of that stuff than they do games nowadays. And if you do go buy a new game, they try to sell you a used copy, and we'll get in that in just a second, which I'm not a fan of. It says pre-owned sales were down 13.4% compared to previous quarters, which is a core of what GameStop's company is rooted in. But despite the company's loss, sales were up for new hardware, specifically with Xbox One X and PS4 sales at 12.8%, and software sales increased by 10.9%. Accessories also increased 32.6%, heavily due to the headset and controller sales. Now, I find this very interesting that they didn't even mention Nintendo at all. They just mentioned Xbox and they mentioned Sony. And I know this is like my local, there's a problem with my local GameStop. I'm not going to get into specifics, but basically they don't really support Nintendo. They never do midnight releases for anything. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate's going to be coming out, Friday? And there should be a midnight release for that. I mean, that's a huge game. I know for a fact GameStop has a bunch of pre-orders for it, but guess what? My local GameStop probably is not doing a midnight release. They never do. I don't think I've ever seen my GameStop do a midnight release for anything. That's why I normally go to Walmart, because Walmart's open 24 hours and you just can just get at Walmart there. So for some reason, I don't know if it's just me, leave a comment below because I'm interested to see what you guys think. But my GameStop, for sure, they don't really support Nintendo. If you go in there and they know you're a Nintendo fan, it almost feels like to me they look down at you, which is absolutely insane. So leave a comment below. Is your GameStop the same? Because that's definitely the case at my local GameStop. I don't know if they're all like that, but man, it really is like that at mine. And I don't get it. And as you can see in the report here, the company report, they don't even talk about Nintendo. Like, do you want me to believe that you got no sales from Nintendo Switch? Nintendo Switch is one of the hottest systems right now, and and it's not even in the report. That's just really, really strange to me. It's just really, really strange. It says, we experienced solid growth in the third quarter, including double-digit growth across software, hardware, accessories, and collectibles, underscoring GameStop's leadership position in video games and our unique ability to satisfy all our customers' entertainment needs. So them selling all these t-shirts and pops and stuff like that are helping them, I guess. But I mean, you can go anywhere and get that stuff. I mean, GameStop, I don't know. It just goes to tell you. Let's go ahead and dig a little further. And as you go then, it says, notably, software sales benefit from a compelling title lineup compared to last year, including strength from Red Dead Redemption 2 and Spider-Man, as well as the earlier launch of Call of Duty compared to last year. Now, obviously, guys, these games helped them, but they still took a huge loss. You can't rely on 2 or 3 mainstream games that do well to keep the business afloat. It just isn't going to work that way. It just really is not going to happen. They also go on to say that GameStop has lowered their expectations for the fourth quarter earnings and is predicting sales will lean more towards hardware than they had initially planned. So yeah, I would hope you would lower your expectations because the sales just isn't there. Now, I do want to talk about why people are no longer buying physical games. And it's not just because it's more convenient. It's because if you ever go to, trade in your game, they don't give you much for it. I'm sure you guys all been there where you go to a GameStop, and it's not just GameStop. GameStop ain't the only ones that are guilty of this, but you go buy a $60 game, you take it home, you play it for a couple weeks, and you're like, you know what, it's not really what I thought it was. Or maybe you beat it because it's a short game, and you're like, well, I'm probably never going to play this game again, so let me just go trade it in and see how much I can get for it. So then you go to GameStop with your brand new $60 game that you just bought a couple weeks ago, and they're like, yeah, we'll give you $8 for it. Or we can give you $12 store credit. And you're like, I just bought this game 2 weeks ago. And yeah, it's almost like you just rented the game for a couple weeks for $50, which is just crazy. Like, I would never ever do that. And if you look at it, it's getting worse and worse. They're giving you less and less for your games. I do know sometimes they run promotions with your, with your Power Up rewards card or wherever the case may be, and they give you a little bit more store credit. So maybe there's a game you want to buy, you can get a discount, I guess. But a lot of people are starting to realize, wait a minute, I'm not going to go give this game away that I paid $60 for just for $5 or $7. It just isn't worth it to me at this point. I would rather personally put that game on the shelf, let it collect dust before I give it to GameStop and let them sell it for $40 or whatever. It's just absolutely crazy to me. This was GameStop's bread and butter. GameStop made a fortune by paying very little for games and then reselling them and flipping them for a big price. It's crazy. If you go into a GameStop right now, I guarantee you when you go to buy a game or anything at all, they will recommend to sell you the used copy first. And matter of fact, they will sometimes try to sneak the used copy in there and give it to you instead of the new copy. So you have to be careful. If you go to GameStop, you have to be careful and make sure it's brand new. I don't know how many times, guys, that I've seen GameStop people, the employees there, and like I said, they're probably just doing what they're told, but you go to buy a brand new game, and next thing you know, they just take a case off the shelf, they dig through their files of games, they take the game out, they put it in there, close it up, and they put a little sticker on the side and like, here you go. And you're like, wait a minute, this is supposed to be a brand new game. Why isn't it have the plastic cover around it? It's because it's not new. It's not new. A lot of people don't know this, but some of the workers at GameStop, they're allowed to take some of the games home and play them to get some knowledge or whatever the case may be. Then you bring the game back, you put it on the shelf as the display case, and then that's the last game that gets sold, and it's already been played. It's used, but they still sell it as new. And I'm just against that practice at all. It's crazy. If it's not sealed, if the plastic is not sealed on the game case, it's not new, and you should not be selling it for $60. And to me, I feel like people are just fed up with this. I think people are fed up going into GameStop, being, pressured to pre-order. Half the time, I can't tell you how many times I've seen people go in there to get a game that they have plenty of, but they're like, oh, did you pre-order it? No, sorry, there's nothing we can do for you. When they have a wall full of games, and I guarantee you they weren't all pre-ordered. I can guarantee you that. It's just crazy. The misinformation, they hire people that don't really know what they're doing. And again, that happens everywhere. It's just not GameStop. So I don't want people thinking like, oh man, you're just really hating on the employees. And that's definitely not the case, guys. I do know a lot of people leave comments on some of my GameStop videos saying, hey, what a jerk, stuff like that. Guys, it's no offense to, if you're watching this and you work at GameStop, no offense. I understand you're the puppet. You got a puppet master and you're being controlled. Saying what to do. Trust me, I get it. There are some employees, though, that just take it a little too far. They really do. They act like they know it all, and they don't. Trust me, I don't know it all. There's a lot I don't know, and I'll be the first one to admit it. But yeah, guys, just want to give you guys my 2 cents on why I think People are going digital nowadays and not physical. On my Nintendo Switch, I have over 100 games on my Switch right now, and I'm telling you, I'm not making this up. Probably 75% of them or more are digital downloads. Now, I do know the Nintendo Switch, you can take it anywhere you go. So sometimes it is nice to just download the game so you don't got to worry about taking the actual cartridge with you. That's the one thing with the Switch. Sometimes it is better to download the game just because you don't have to worry about taking games with you. It's sad to say because I used to like to collect games, but nowadays if you get a game and you open it up, there's no artwork in there, there's no booklet. There's not really much collectible there anymore. And that's just the way gaming is going. It's really sad. Leave a comment below, guys. Let me know, do you agree, disagree? And if you work at GameStop, let me know. And I'm not trying to be a jerk, but if you work at GameStop, leave a comment below and let me know how much longer do you think you have before they close the doors. That's pretty much all for right now, guys. And there'll be more to come shortly. Thanks again. Thanks for watching the video, guys. I definitely do appreciate it. If you like the video, go ahead and smash that like button. And if you're a big Nintendo fan, don't forget to subscribe because I upload Nintendo-related videos all the time. And if you're interested in some VB20 merch, go ahead and visit my new website at vanburen20.com.